Yo, what is going on YouTube? We are back with another week of football. We are in week fucking 16. Can you believe it? We are here with the Thursday night game we're going to first start talking about today, but just kind of an intro to the video. This is going to be a hype week. Obviously, I don't have my Packers jersey on. We don't play for another couple of days, but when that game happens, and if it's a good one, I'm going to be talking about it. Now, you guys are going to be at me if it's like a blowout and I don't talk about it either way, but it has to be a close game. We only talk about close games, and obviously the Thursday game was an absolute banger. Just looking ahead at the week, yeah, I think Green Bay and Chicago is going to be a fantastic game. Just kind of looking around, obviously Tampa Bay versus Carolina is practically the division championship on Sunday. That'll be a fantastic game. You get Jacksonville versus Denver. I think that's going to be fantastic. Pittsburgh versus Detroit. I think even New England versus Baltimore is going to be good. And then the Monday night game should be pretty solid as well. So let's get into the game now. Here we go. What a damn gamble. The Seahawks are 12-3 and they take the division, I think, for good. I'm pretty sure. But the Seahawks rally from a 16-point deficit. I thought the Rams had this one in the bag. They were up 30-14. What an offensive game, though. This is one of the biggest offensive games I've probably seen all year. They stun the Rams by a point. They move atop the NFC West. And again, I'm pretty sure that's their division, unless the Rams win next week and they lose. Sam Darnold connected with Jackson Smith-Njigba for a touchdown in overtime, then hit a wide open Eric Siebert for the winning 2-point conversion, and they rally. They absolutely stun the Rams. I do think the Rams were heavy favorites going into this game, but the Seahawks get it done. I'm actually pretty proud of them. Like, I was rooting for the Rams. I really like the Rams this year, but to see the Seahawks pull this off, this was great. But my goodness, despite a loss, another MVP caliber performance out of Matthew Stafford. 29 for 49, 457 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and 12 catches for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns went to Puka Nacua. And obviously the Seahawks got the last laugh, but holy shit, they were barking at Puka, and I knew they shouldn't have done that. This was obviously a gamble from the coach from the Seahawks to go for 2, but it absolutely paid off. They walk it off. Clutch touchdown to Jackson Smith-Njigba, and who else? Jackson Smith-Njigba, pretty quiet first half, but he ended the game with 8 catches for 96 yards and a touchdown. Rams struck first in overtime, obviously, with the big Puka touchdown, and Puka was unbelievable this game, and there was obviously controversy about some anti-Semitic comments, but he went out and played great. Obviously, AJ Barner was great. He's awesome. Crazy 2-point conversion. That was wild. Rashid Shaheed, known as a specialist, he got a kick return touchdown, or a punt return touchdown, I should say. But kind of looking at the Seahawks, because they are the ones who won the day. I mean, Sam Darnold, 22 for 34, 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, he threw 2 picks, but again, having guys like Njigba and even Kenneth Walker, who had 11 carries for 100 yards and a touchdown in your lineup, finally, I think those fantasy owners are happy. Thomas is a hell of a linebacker. Their defense played pretty good. Obviously, they got torched in the pass game, but holding Kyron Williams to 23 carries and like 70 yards is fantastic. So, shout out to the Seahawks. Crazy win. We'll see you guys in the next few games. I don't know what you Bears want me to say to you. Congratulations, I guess, for hitting our quarterback high, giving him a concussion, and beating our backup QB, who played amazing, by the way. I'll give Malik Willis some credit. The Bears stun the Packers by 6. They get an improbable rally.
Oh, they were underdogs in this fucking game.
Well, guess what? We drop an onside kick. We get a stupid face mask call. What do you want us to do? At this point, everything was going wrong for us down the stretch, and those are no excuses. I mean, yeah, the Bears beat us, but we didn't have Jordan Love for the full second half, so whatever. I guess you want a cookie. Caleb Williams, insane pass to DJ Moore. I will give full credit where credit is due. That was an insane play in overtime, and it took a lot of balls because you could have easily just went down there, ran it down, and kicked a field goal. Caleb Williams felt it as soon as the ball left his hand, put his hands in the pocket like an oraful, matcha drinking individual, and in a flash, the Bears were celebrating another wild win. It has been obviously a very wild season for the Bears. I have respect for them. I'm not just gonna like sit here and shit on them because we're division rivals and they kind of got lucky with some of their plays. They're a good team, but they get the NFC North lead. I don't know if they clinch that though. If the Packers somehow win out and the Bears lose out, it's possible. Helmet to helmet contact on Jordan Love. I don't care what any of you Bears fans say. I don't care how any of you try to paint it. That was a dirty hit. The Bears walk it off with the crazy fucking catch. Ja'Day Walker, shout out to him. He is a young guy. He's a rookie, and he got a crazy catch to tie it up, which is awesome. The stupid onside kick, Romeo fucking Dobbs. I don't know what the hell you're doing out there. You're supposed to have some of the best hands on the team, and you completely fucking whiff it. So I don't know what we're supposed to do when our players are playing like that. I don't know what Malik Willis is supposed to do because the guy came out there and played fucking amazing with what he had. 9 for 11, 121 yards and a touchdown. And obviously Caleb Williams played great as well. 19 for 34, 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Shout out to Emmanuel Wilson. I will give him a lot of credit because in the place of the fumbling Josh Jacobs, that is another thing from this game that we should not be excusing. 14 carries for 82 yards. And yeah, I know Romeo Doubs fumbled, and people are going to be like, well, he had 5 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Doesn't matter. You couldn't close the game out and it mattered. It doesn't fucking matter. DJ Moore had 5 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown, and obviously the Bears are starting to get healthy on their defense. Montez Sweat is there as a pass rusher. TJ Edwards is a great field general as a linebacker. Things are starting to shape up. I think they got Tremaine Edmonds back. Shout out to the Bears, but I don't know, are you supposed to think you're going to win the Super Bowl off this game? Whatever, if you think so. I know I look chopped, but it's okay. We are back here to cover the Sunday slates of games, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the Bills and the Browns, because what a fight. A team that's not going to make the playoffs made, which is kind of fucking annoying because you're not making the playoffs. James Cook had 117 yards and 2 touchdowns through 16 carries. That definitely helped. Propels the Bills closer to a playoff berth. They won by 3 over the Browns. They're obviously still battling with the Patriots for their division. James Cook continues to show opposing defenses that they have to factor in more than Josh Allen, which is a big issue because that backfield is one of the best backfields in the NFL. 4th straight win for this team. They are hot. Again, not a great team to beat. Who cares? Josh Allen had a nifty little flip pass, game-sealing tush push. Obviously, Harold Fannin has been scoring touchdowns. He's been a very much red zone guy for this team, so it's cool to see him develop. But I mean, it's James Cook. It's guys like Ty Johnson. All those guys are coming out and making plays. Pretty kind of gritty game. I don't really have much to say about this because I did watch a lot of football today. It just wasn't much of this game, obviously. 12 for 19, 130 yards for Josh Allen. I mean, that's kind of whatever. Shedeur Sanders threw 20 for 29 in a touchdown, but he also threw 2 picks. And isn't a very decisive QB. Now, obviously, he had 4 carries for 49 yards, leading the rushing game, by the way. And obviously, Quinshon Judkins kind of went out with an injury, unfortunately, in this game. But holy shit. Not a lot going on. This was a very fucking lame game. Great defense, by the way, for the Bills. Gregory Rousseau and Jordan Poyer were out there making plays. I don't know. I mean, obviously, the Browns don't need to win this game. They're looking to get more draft picks. They've already drafted amazing players like Schlesinger, Shedeur, Harold Fannin, Quinshon Judkins. Great draft picks over the last couple of seasons. I think Judkins broke his leg, though, which is very unfortunate. I suppose we can get into another snooze fest. Let's take it to New York, I believe, at MetLife. Is that where they were at, or were they at the Vikings? I don't even care. Who gives a fuck? Vikings versus Giants. JJ McCarthy gets injured again. No surprise here. Goddamn, the guy can't stay healthy to save his fucking life. The Vikings hand the Giants their 9th fucking loss in a row. The Giants might take the title for worst team in the NFL. It is very close between them and the Titans. I think the Browns have a bad record, but at least they've won some pretty dope games. JJ McCarthy had already injured his right throwing hand by the time he ran for a touchdown. Minnesota Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell, honestly, at this point in the season, you're out of the playoffs. I don't think you should play JJ McCarthy, but I guess you're not really thinking in that moment. He threw 9 for 14 for 108 yards before the injury, but he also threw a pick. Jackson Dart, 7 for 13, whatever, he threw a pick as well. It's nothing crazy this game. Aaron Jones got the ball hella with 21 carries, but they just could not get it off the ground there. What are these fucking games? 6 catches, 85 yards for Justin Jefferson, and some of these guys, what the hell? Obviously, Jonathan Allen and Brian Cashman are solid defenders for the Vikings. I'm going over some of these games quickly because these are fucking poverty. I mean, a game that's not poverty, though, and a game that had a lot of implications today was the Buccaneers and the Panthers, and we are going to talk about it. So it's a crazy game, and again, the Buccaneers season collapse, mid-season collapse, is really culminated in a game like this, and obviously they still have a chance with 2 games left on their schedule to take the division back. But man, Bryce Young throws 2 touchdowns. The Panthers finally beat the Bucs by 3. They take over first place. I guess they lost the first battle, so we'll have to see who wins the tiebreaker. Who knows? The playoff-starved Carolina Panthers left the locker room happy, but not yet satisfied. Again, the job is not done. That's going to be one of the more interesting divisions to watch throughout the league. They take control, though. You got to give credit to the Panthers. Huge interception on Mayfield. Obviously, we know Mayfield to be a pretty clutch quarterback in the league, but not recently on his recent stuff. Bryce Young getting all around the pocket, finding his guys downfield. You love to see it. John Tucker taking touchdowns from Bucky Irving as he usually does. Teroya McMillan played pretty good, and that's really about it. Baker Mayfield threw 18 for 26 in the touchdown, but he threw a pick, was not able to get the ball down the field. Bryce Young threw 21 for 32 with 2 touchdowns. Not a lot here. Emeka Egbuka had a 40-yard reception, and that's it. Let's talk about his fall-off, too, for a moment. Why don't we? Teroya McMillan really the best performer of this game overall with 6 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown. Kind of just guys in between on the defense putting shit together. This is kind of a team that just puts wins together, and there are plenty of teams around the league like that, and they are definitely one of them. It kind of sucks because a lot of the games that were supposed to be really good this week kind of turned out to be whatever. I don't really care to talk Broncos-Jags because I think they dominated that game, if I'm being honest with you, and they are contenders. I'll give them credit. But getting into the Falcons and the Cardinals, another game that doesn't matter, but I suppose it would be nice to see if the Falcons can finish as well as possible under their version of Hitler with fucking Saddam Hussein. I don't even know if you can say Hitler on YouTube. Who cares? Bijan Robinson leads the Falcons to their second straight win. A very woeful Cardinals team. This is one of the worst teams in the league, but again, at least they have a roster to play. They've lost by 7, but still. Bijan Robinson had another outstanding game running the ball a fucking course and catching it. Kyle Pitts has been great. This team is on a run and a little too late, but it's fine. Kirk Cousins, he's gonna have to be the guy probably for the rest of his career. Like, I respect the hell out of Michael Penix. I don't fucking know, dude. Kirk Cousins, not a great game, but like 21 for 35. He threw for 2 touchdowns. He had a pick. I don't know. He is playing Jacoby Brissett, though, who threw 16 for 31 for 203 yards and a touchdown. He also threw a pick. Very, goddamn, these are such sloppy games. Michael Carter for the Cardinals had an efficient 11 carries for 65. I don't know who the hell Higgins is for them, but he had 7 catches for 91. And really, the story of the game is Bijan Robinson having 7 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. Easily the best receiving back in the league, and Divine Diablo playing really good as a linebacker for this team. This is such a wacky fucking week of football. Alrighty, pushing forward, we have 3 more games to talk about. Kind of a scare for the Texans, but at the same time, they got a very much needed win. And I'm pretty sure if the Colts lose tomorrow, they are in for sure. So we'll have to see what happens there. The Texans extend their winning streak to 7. Like, think about it. This team was 3-5 going into this, and they get a 2-point win over the Raiders. Houston, they struggled, like probably more than they ever have in that 7-game span, but the top-ranked defense felt a little disappointed, obviously. Like, they have a great defense. They have DeAndre Hunter. They have Caden Bullock, I think his name is, which is one of the best young DBs in the NFL. This is a really big win. Obviously, they had to go in against Ashton Jeanty, who had a fantasy monster performance. He's getting a Team of the Week card. Holy fuck, I'm so excited. He's probably going to get a Team of the Week card. What a fucking game. 2 touchdowns this game for him. Like, I don't know. Obviously, the Raiders are the Raiders. Their defense is going to play like shit and leave guys like Dalton Schultz wide open. But you gotta love it. You gotta be happy for Ashton Jeanty after all the doubters, after all, like, oh, he plays in the fucking Mountain West. Of course he's a Heisman candidate. Motherfucker, he's putting up more yards than any of the fucking Heisman candidates we looked at last year. The dude put up 188 scrimmage yards through 25 touches and had 2 touchdowns. That is incredible. Geno Smith played a lot better this game than he has really all season. Not his best game, obviously, but he found guys like Brock Bowers, and it's crazy. Geno Smith threw 16 for 23 for 201 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick. That's pretty characteristic of him. That's going to cost him the game every time. CJ Stroud, 23 for 35. He threw for a touchdown. Ashton Jeanty, just an incredible 24 carries for 128 yards and a touchdown. And not only that, he also had a 60-yard receiving touchdown. Nico Collins, through this stretch, has been the best receiver easily for the Texans with 4 catches for 59. And again, talked about that defense a little later. So let's move on. Okay, pretty controversial game time here, but we're going to talk about the Steelers and the Lions. There's a lot to say about this. It is kind of wacky what the fuck happened here. And as a Packers fan, I'm happy, obviously, because this puts the Lions a little further out of the playoff race, but the end was Steelers outlast the Lions by 5, a wild finish. They call a penalty on St. Brown to negate Jared Goff's winning touchdown. Pittsburgh Steelers survived a wild finish. They're 9-6. I'm pretty sure the Ravens are done. They win their division for the first time in 5 years. Well, they boost their chance. Detroit to the brink of elimination. That might happen next week. We'll have to see what the schedule looks like. But they hang on. Late drama, crazy OPI. They called 2 OPIs in the game-winning drive, which is really stupid. Again, shout out to MMG. I would really like to hear his thoughts on this. Fucking stupid, whatever. Jaylen Warren was a dog. He's probably going to get a Team of the Week if we're talking Madden. He was fucking great. Waltzing around, playing good. Jared Goff got sacked for a safety. That's obviously something you never want to do this game, but I mean, he played fucking great. I can't even complain about Jared Goff. 34 for 54, 364 yards and 3 touchdowns. I love games like that, where we're launching the ball down the field. I think that's incredible. Aaron Rodgers threw 27 for 41 and a touchdown. Again, Jaylen Warren was really the star of the show, and that backfield was the star of the show. Jaylen Warren had 14 carries, 143 yards. I mean, we're talking about 10 yards a carry here, 2 touchdowns. Kenneth Gainwell had 5 catches for 78 and a touchdown. And obviously they had to go against Jameson Williams, who had a good 5 catches for 70. My God, solid defense. Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen really holding it down for the Steelers. That game was kind of one off of the OPI, so I can't really comment on much. I'm happy the Steelers won, but in that fashion, that kind of sucks, really. I feel bad. This is probably the most I felt bad for the Lions, because at least when they were dog shit, they knew they weren't going to do anything. Now they had some decent expectations for the season, despite losing to Jaden Daniels. McDaniels last year. Yeah, whatever. We'll get into it, but Patriots and Ravens to close it out on Sunday Night Football. Pretty good game, pretty banger game. Drake May has quite the bounce back game after a pretty shitty week against a division rival last week, but he leads the Patriots to a 4-point win over the Ravens. They clinch a playoff spot. They don't necessarily clinch the division. By the way, they are undefeated on the road, which is sick. Hopefully the rest of the NFL enjoyed the respite. They erase an 11-point deficit. They were down pretty big in this game. It wasn't looking great, and they do what great teams do. They come back, get that playoff spot. Zay Flowers had a late turnover. He's had kind of a shaky year. I can't really hate on him too much, but still. Ramondre Stevenson getting a touchdown. He actually played really good. I do think Travion Henderson, shout out to him. I love him as a player. I do believe he got hurt this game, though. Drake May, absolute darts. Kyle Williams. I need to go back and watch that play because I heard that was fucking insane. Zay Flowers had a good game, I would say. I don't really know. But Drake May threw 31 for 44, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns. He threw a pick, but I think the lack of the pass game for Lamar Jackson going 7 for 10 for 101, I mean, that's efficient. That's fine, but that really hurt them. Ramondre Stevenson had 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. Honestly, one of the most efficient games he has had in a while. Derrick Henry had 18 carries, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. And honestly, Derrick Henry is one of the most somehow underrated running backs in the NFL right now. It's actually crazy. Stephon Diggs had 9 catches for 138. Zay Flowers had 7 catches for 84. It's kind of crazy, like going back and covering some of those shitty games from earlier because this is such a difference in like way. Jonathan Gibbons was really good. He's a dope kind of field general for them. I don't know. Will the Niners beat the Colts tomorrow? Will it be a close game? Will it not be? We will have to find out. I know I sped through those games, but it's like I kind of want to just give a rundown. I watched a lot of these games. Like I watched a little bit of this game just from today. I watched Jacksonville, Denver. I watched Cincinnati, Miami, which fucking sucked. I watched the end of Tampa Bay, Carolina. What else? We watched a little bit of Chargers, Dallas, a little bit of Kansas City. Turn on the Buffalo game. Yeah, that's probably about it. I'm out. Alright, well, that is going to do it. I'm not going to talk about the Sixers and Colts in length, but honestly, I don't know when the fuck this video is going to get out. You guys might just have to make this like during the actual next week of football. I don't know, bro. I don't know when I'm going to have time to do this. I need to really lock the fuck in, though. I don't have time tomorrow because I have to work from like 12 to 6 and then go to church, and then I'm going to stream, work on album of the year list stuff. I'm sorry. I have a lot of videos floating in the air. I have this. I have the National Lampoon Christmas movie review I want to get out for you guys, and then hopefully by the end of the calendar year we can at least watch the Santa Claus or like Bad Santa, one of those two, because I've gotten recommended a few films. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, do whatever. Go check out all the social medias. We're keeping strong, trying to keep strong. I mean, it's been a pretty busy winter break for me in a good way. I mean, I've enjoyed my time for sure. Let me know how everything's going for you guys in the comments. You know, comment on the games, how your team did, all that.